Hey everyone, I want to give you a warm welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you stopped by. Before we get into today's message, I invite you to click that subscribe button and join this community where we focus on uplifting each other and growing in our spiritual journeys. I have a message that I believe is meant for the collective today, but as always, remember to take what resonates with you personally and leave behind anything that doesn't. Sometimes not everything will fit your situation perfectly, and that's okay. Trust your intuition and see what feels right for you. Today, this message is specifically aimed at those of you who are single, whether you're a single mom, single dad, or someone who's never been married but has been waiting and hoping for the right person, your kingdom spouse. Maybe you've been praying for this person for a long time, wondering when you will meet them or when they will show up in your life. You've been through a lot more than most people know. You've been in relationships that didn't work out, or maybe you felt like you've had to settle for less than you deserve in the past. Now you've reached a point where you know deep down that you are ready for something more. You're ready for a real godly relationship, one that is centered on God and built on a strong foundation of love, trust, and faith. If this sounds like you, if you're nodding your head as you read this, then this message is for you. You've probably been praying for a long time, asking God for that special, committed relationship that you know will align with your purpose. Well, I'm here to tell you that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You may not realize it yet, but God has been guiding your steps all along, and He's preparing you for something special. He's preparing you for your kingdom spouse. We've just entered into a new season. You may not feel it immediately, but things have shifted in the spiritual realm. This new season is important for you, especially if you've been waiting on a breakthrough in your love life. This is your time. This is the moment when things will begin to unfold in ways that might surprise you. I'm talking to those of you who have been doing the inner work, those who have taken the time to heal from past wounds, who have faced their fears and grown stronger. You've been through the fire, but you've come out refined, stronger, and wiser. You've broken free from the chains of the past, whether that was emotional baggage, unhealthy patterns, or toxic relationships. You've done the work to heal, and because of that, you are ready for what God has for you. Now, if you're still healing, if you're still in that process, don't worry. Everyone's journey is different and there's no rush. Healing takes time, and it's important not to skip any steps along the way. But for those of you who feel like you've already come out on the other side, who feel like you've done the work and you're ready for what's next, listen closely. You have a mission in this new season. In this new season, God has given you an assignment. This is not just any assignment, it's a special one that is connected to your kingdom spouse. You see, the reason you had to heal first, the reason you had to go through the process of self reflection and growth is because you have a significant role to play. You've been chosen for a purpose. And your role in this season is to intercede for your kingdom spouse. What does that mean? It means that God is calling you to pray for them, to stand in the gap for them spiritually, even if you haven't met them yet. And your prayers and your energy can help bring them closer to you. Now, you might be thinking, how can I pray for someone I haven't even met yet? Or why is it my job to intercede for them? Well, here's the thing: in the spiritual realm, things are connected in ways that we can't always see with our physical eyes. You and your kingdom spouse are already connected on a soul level, even if you haven't crossed paths yet, even if they are still somewhere out there, you are tied together in a way that transcends time and space. From your prayers have power. When you pray for your future spouse, you are calling them into your life. You are helping to prepare the way for them to come closer to you. Here's what I've received in prayer. Some of you have already stepped into this new season, but your kingdom spouse is still stuck in the past. It's as if you've moved forward, you've entered into the light, but they're still in the dark. They're still dealing with their own healing process, or they're tied up in situations that are holding them back. Maybe they're in a relationship that isn't right for them, or maybe they're dealing with fears, doubts, or insecurities that are preventing them from moving forward. Whatever it is, there's a separation between you right now. But here's the good news: your prayers, your energy, and your faith can help bridge that gap. You've been given the power to call them in through prayer and intercession. You are connected to your kingdom spouse at the soul level, and even though they may be in a different place right now, your prayers can help them move forward. Think about it this way: just as you had to go through your healing process, they have to go through theirs as well. But your role in this season is to pray for them, to lift them up in prayer, and to help guide them into the light, just like you've done for yourself. You've already walked that path, and now you can help them walk it too. Your anointing, your spiritual power is stronger than you realize. It's that power that can help pull people out of where they're stuck, and that includes your kingdom spouse. So, what exactly should you be praying for? Here are a few things to keep in mind as you step into this season of intercession. 1. Pray for their healing just like you needed healing. Your kingdom spouse likely has their own wounds to heal from. Pray that God would heal their heart, mind, and soul. Pray that they would be freed from any past hurts or traumas that are holding them back. 2. Pray for their clarity. Sometimes we can get stuck in situations that cloud our judgment. Pray that your kingdom spouse would have clarity about their life, about their purpose, and about their next steps. Pray that they would be able to see things clearly and make decisions that align with God's will for their life. 3. Pray for their strength. The journey of healing and growth is not easy. Pray that God would give your kingdom spouse the strength they need to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. Pray that they would have the courage to face their fears and step into the new season that God has for them. 4. Pray for their protection. We know that the enemy often tries to distract or discourage us, especially when we're on the brink of something great. Pray for God's protection over your kingdom spouse. Pray that they will be shielded from any attacks, distractions, or temptations that could pull them off course. 5. Pray for divine timing. One of the hardest things to do is wait for God's timing, especially when we feel ready, but trust that God's timing is perfect. Pray that both you and your kingdom spouse will be aligned with God's divine timing. Pray that when the time is right, everything will fall into place. It's important to remember that just because you can't see your kingdom spouse right now doesn't mean that they're not on their way. Sometimes God is working behind the scenes in ways we can't see. He's aligning things, moving pieces around, and preparing both you and your spouse for the right moment. Your job in this season is to stay patient, stay faithful, and continue to pray. This season is not just about waiting, it's about preparing, it's about getting yourself ready mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for the relationship that God has for you. It's about trusting that even if things don't look like they're happening right now, God is still at work. You are not waiting in vain. Every prayer you pray, every step you take is bringing you closer to your kingdom spouse. If you've been feeling discouraged, if you've been wondering when your time will come, I want you to take heart. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. God has not forgotten you. He sees you, He knows your heart, and He is preparing something beautiful for you. The love that you've been waiting for, the godly relationship that you've been praying for, is already on its way. As you step into this new season, hold on to your faith, keep praying for your kingdom spouse, keep trusting that God is working even when you can't see it. And remember, you have a special role to play in their journey, just as they will have a special role to play in yours. In closing, I want to remind you of this: you are not alone. Your prayers are powerful and they are making a difference. You are connected to your kingdom spouse at the soul level, and your intercession can help bring them closer to the light. God has given you the strength, the anointing, and the power to make an impact in their life even before you meet them. So keep praying, keep trusting, and know that your kingdom spouse is on their way. In life, we often face spiritual battles that we might not even be aware of. These battles can affect us, our relationships, and even the people we care about. One of the ways these struggles show up is through spiritual influences that try to keep us from reaching the blessings and relationships God has intended for us. Sometimes these forces make things look right on the surface, but beneath it, there's deception. First, let's talk about something known as the Jezebel spirit. This isn't an actual person, but a type of influence or force that leads people astray. The Jezebel spirit is tricky because it can make someone look godly or righteous, but in truth, they are not. They may act holy, say all the right things, and even appear to have a close relationship with God, but underneath, their actions and intentions are not aligned with God's will. You may have heard of stories in the Bible about Jezebel, a queen who led people away from the true worship of God by promoting false worship. In the same way the Jezebel spirit works today, it makes people believe they are following the right path when in reality they are being deceived. This spirit might even convince someone that a wrong relationship is right or make them feel stuck in a connection that isn't from God. If you feel that your kingdom spouse, the person God has set aside for you, is involved with someone who is being influenced by this spirit, it's important to recognize that the person they are with is pretending to be godly, but they are not. Your person might be stuck in a relationship where the other person has promised marriage or made them believe they are the one, but deep down, this is just an attachment that's trying to keep them from coming into the true relationship God has planned for them with you. This is where you come in. You have a mission in this situation, and that mission is to pray. Prayer is a powerful tool, and it can break spiritual strongholds. You are being called to pray for your person and ask God to release them from this connection that's holding them back. One way to focus your prayers is by fasting. Fasting is when you give up something like food for a certain period while spending more time in prayer. A 3-day fast is suggested here, with prayer specifically focused on helping your kingdom spouse see the truth of their situation. But it doesn't stop there. There are other scenarios that could be happening in your person's life, and these situations also need prayer and possibly fasting. For some people, your person might be in a same-sex relationship. This can be a difficult and sensitive situation. While it's not our job to judge others or tell people how to live their lives, you may feel called to pray for your person's release from this connection. It's important to approach this with love and compassion, not with judgment or harshness. If you believe that God is asking you to pray for this, then do so in a way that focuses on love, healing, and the freedom God desires for all of us. It's also important to remember that prayer doesn't mean we are forcing someone to change. Instead, we are asking God to guide them toward the truth and to help them make the decisions that are best for them. If your heart is telling you that this is something you need to pray about, then trust in God's guidance and lift your prayers up with a heart full of love and care for your person. Another scenario that might be affecting your kingdom spouse is a relationship where they have given their power away. A good example from the Bible is the story of Samson and Delilah. Samson was a man of great strength, but he gave away his power by trusting the wrong person, Delilah. She betrayed him and ultimately caused his downfall. In the same way, your person might be in a relationship where they have handed over their strength or control to someone who is not leading them in the right direction. This could be someone who is controlling or manipulating them, making it hard for them to see the truth or make the right decisions for their life. In this case, you are being called to intercede for your person. Interceding simply means stepping in and praying on their behalf, asking God to free them from this relationship where they've lost their power. Your prayers can help break the chains that are keeping them trapped, and through your faith, they can find the strength to walk away from what is holding them back. Just like God eventually restored Samson's strength, your prayers can help restore your person's strength and guide them back to the right path. The fourth situation to consider is that your person might be facing temptation. A good story to think about here is Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Joseph was a faithful servant, and Potiphar's wife tried to tempt him into doing something wrong. Joseph resisted, but he still had to face many challenges because of the situation. Similarly, your person might be trying to stay pure and follow the right path, but they are being tempted by someone or something in their life. Temptation can be a powerful force, and even the strongest people can struggle with it. You are asked to pray that your person doesn't fall into this temptation. Your prayers can serve as a shield around them, protecting them from making decisions that would lead them away from God's plan for their life. Prayer is a way to ask God to give them the strength to resist, just like Joseph did, and to keep them on the path that leads to holiness and righteousness. Now that you've been presented with these four possible situations, whether it's the Jezebel spirit, a same-sex relationship, a relationship where they've given their power away, or a situation where they're facing temptation, it's important to take these concerns to God in prayer. If any of these situations apply to your person, fasting and prayer can be powerful tools to help bring them freedom. This is a new season and God is working in many ways. Your prayers have the ability to make a difference. Sometimes when we are praying for someone else, we don't see immediate results, but that doesn't mean our prayers aren't working. Trust that God hears you and is moving behind the scenes to bring about the best outcome for your person. Fasting is an ancient spiritual practice that helps us focus our prayers and rely more on God. It's a way of saying, God, I'm putting this situation completely in your hands, and I trust you to bring about the best result. You might be wondering how long you should fast. Some people feel led to fast for 3 days, others for 5 or even 10 days. The length of your fast isn't as important as the sincerity of your heart and the focus of your prayers. Let the Holy Spirit guide you in how long to fast and trust that God will lead you in the right direction. When you are fasting and praying, remember that God's timing is perfect. He knows exactly when and how to bring freedom to your person. Don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate changes. Keep praying, keep fasting, and keep believing that God is working in their life, even if it's not visible to you right away. You may also want to ask others to join you in prayer. There is power in community prayer, and sometimes when we gather others to pray with us, it strengthens our own faith. You can ask trusted friends or family members to pray with you for your person's freedom. And together, your prayers can create a powerful force that breaks spiritual chains and brings about healing and restoration. As you continue to pray and fast, stay close to God. Spend time in His Word and listen to what He is speaking to your heart. Sometimes God will give you specific guidance on how to pray or what steps to take. Be open to hearing His voice and following His direction. In this season, you are being called to stand in the gap for your person. You are being asked to pray for their freedom, for their strength, and for their protection. Your prayers matter, and they can make a real difference in their life. As you fast and pray, trust in God's plan and know that He is faithful. He will bring about the right outcome in His perfect timing. May this message bring you peace, clarity, and hope as you continue to pray for your kingdom spouse. Remember that God is with you every step of the way, guiding you, strengthening you, and hearing every prayer you lift up. Divine blessings to you as you move forward in faith.